Hi y'all! Welcome to this presentation on tips for finding editors and beta readers and what to do with them once you have found them. Whether you're a seasoned writer or just beginning your journey editing your first draft, finding editors and beta readers can be daunting. This session aims to provide practical tips and techniques that I have researched for us to help you navigate the challenges of starting the process. We're going to explore strategies for organizing your questions for your beta readers, finding an editor that meets your needs and matches your style of writing. So before we do that, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more writing tips and content. And if you enjoy this video, please give it a like and comment with your questions below. Join my membership. I would love to have you as a member to my YouTube channel for exclusive contents and perks. And visit my link tree to buy my books, please. Thank you. Let's see. All right. Now, going into this, I want you to know that these are just some best practices that I have found that have helped me in the process to not only find who I need to help me, but to kind of figure out how to work with other creators when you're handing over a book to your editors and your beta readers. Because that is a scary point in the entire process when you're a writer, whether you're a seasoned writer or whether you're a new writer. Now, this is what we're going to cover. I know it looks like a lot, but I promise it will be not painful. So this is what we're going to cover. So stick with me and we'll figure it out together, I promise. As you guys know, I was a project manager for the government for a while, and I am really excited about using what I learned in those processes and turning it over into my writing world now that I'm writing full time. So with project management at this point, which is the control phase, your objective in project management is to ensure that the project is staying on track, that it's meeting defined objectives, and that you are delivering quality. It involves regular monitoring and making adjustments based on feedback and performance. So you can see where I'm going with this. What does that sound like? That sounds like when you're handing over a book to an editor or your beta readers. Your objective at that point is to ensure that your manuscript is polished, coherent, engaging, meeting both with the author's vision and the reader's expectation. So this phase kind of aims to identify and rectify any issues with your content or structure or language that maybe you haven't caught yet when you're editing. All right, identifying your needs, understanding types of editors. This is something I did not understand when I was a newbie writer and didn't know what to look for. There's developmental editors, copyright editors, and proofreading editors. Now, for a developmental editor, they focus on the big picture, the elements of the manuscript, your structure. They analyze your plot, your pacing, your story, your structure, your character development, your character arcs, your themes and messages to ensure that there's consistency and depth. They will give you feedback on your rewrites and revisions, and they'll offer other suggestions to improve your story elements. Now, a copywriter, they focus on sentence level corrections and improvement. So you're talking grammar and syntax, you're talking your style consistency, your voice, clarity and readability, word choice, fact checking, style guides. They're making sure you're adhering to specific styles and that you are consistent in the flow of your manuscript. Now, proofreaders, they focus on surface level errors and final checks. They are doing your spelling mistakes, your typos, they're fixing punctuation, they're formatting, ensuring you're consistent with your format, and then they're going to do a final quality check for you before publication. They're going to catch those minor errors that you've missed in previous stages. And they're going to look also, again, they're going to look for consistency in your formatting, like with your fonts and your headings, like chapter headings, so on and so forth. All right, guys, in this part, we are going to cover targeting your audience next. So let's talk about networking and connecting with your fellow writers. So when you join writing communities, it's really important that you give back as much as you get. If you find a really great community like I have in Heart Breathings and then with my own whiskeys, it's really easy to find those people to get your feedback and your critiques with, and you can share your work with them, and you can feel really confident in knowing you're going to get constructive criticism. The resources and advice that they can give you is going to be incredible. It's going to give you writing tips, industry news, and it's going to give you access to experienced writers. It's also going to give you accountability and motivation. When you join those writing sprints and you're in there with your other people, it's just going to help you stay on track. It also gives you that availability to promote, and it also gives you visibility. You can promote your work. You can participate in author spotlights. You can increase your visibility and build your audience. And it's just an incredible way to grow. Now, this next one is one that I am planning on starting myself. I have not started a newsletter. So if you have a newsletter and you can utilize the mailing list off of it, you can offer your subscribers exclusive content. You can give them sneak peeks, deleted scenes, bonus chapters, whatever it is but it will keep them engaged and make them feel valued. You'll also be able to let them know, hey, my book's about to launch, and then you can give them the release date, the pre-order times and places, the special promotion to generate that buzz and drive sales. Then you can also, if you have any questions about what you're doing and if you are really engaging your readers, you can suggest feedback on aspects of your work, like the cover design, your story idea, and you can really involve them in the creative process. And again, that will help build your readership. Okay. 4 ways that an author can identify their target audience. You're going to analyze similar books, research books in your genre that are similar to yours, and examine the reader's demographics, reviews, feedback, and understand who might be interested in your work. 2, you're going to engage with your current readers. Interact with them on social media, your mailing list, gather information about their preferences, interests, and demographics. 3rd, define your book's unique selling point. Identify your key themes, your settings, and the characters in your book, and think about who would most be attracted to those elements. Then there's create reader personas. You're going to develop a detailed reader persona that includes demographics like your age, your location, their interests, their values, their habits, and you're going to use all that information to find your perfect reader. Okay. Right. Preparing for beta readers. Obviously, you need to have your work finished. You need to have a deliverable. And make sure that you have done the self-edits to it. Then you just need to find some guinea pigs, willing readers. And here's 5 ways to help you do that. It's the best practices to find and vet them. Target your genre. Seek beta readers who will enjoy and value your book. People that you think are really going to enjoy it. you're going to utilize your writing communities, engage with online writing communities, their forums, social media to find really enthusiastic, experienced beta readers. Offer services that you're going to help this author do this, and they'll help you do this, and then that way you're also can't talk today, guys. You're fostering mutual support. Create a beta reader questionnaire, and we're going to go over that next. It is a questionnaire to vet potential beta readers and ask them about their experience, their reading preferences, their expertise, and their availability. It is also good to ask for a request of sample feedback. Ask potential beta readers to provide feedback, a short excerpt on your manuscript, and you can kind of assess their insightfulness and compatibility with your needs. All right, now, I know this looks like a lot, and also you can feel free to tweak it. The questions are there, but this is what you need just to make sure you're covering. The overall impression, engagement, the pacing of your novel, the plot and structure, plot coherency, conflict and tension, climax and resolution, and you want to cover everything about your characters, your main characters, their relationships, and their motivations. Now on the next page, because it is 2 pages long, you're going to want to cover your world building and your setting. Was it good enough? Was it descriptive enough? You're going to want to have them look at your writing style and your tone. The writing style for your genre, your dialogue, your mood of the writing. And then end the questionnaire with their favorite part about your story, their least favorite part of the story, and if any part left them confused as a reader. Just be like, what did you like, not like? What are you confused about? Now, this questionnaire will, by the time this is posted, I will have the questionnaire up on the free tier of my Patreon. So just look for that link below. Now, communicating with your beta readers, this part is pretty straightforward. This is just with anything as in life. You need to set the clear expectations and guidelines. When do you want it back? When do you have to have the book back with their notes? What kind of notes you're expecting? What kind of feedback you're expecting? Give them the specific areas you need feedback in. If there's a part that you are really worried about, make sure that you have asked them when and where that is, and you've established that timeline, but also really appreciate and acknowledge that they took time out to do this for you, because normally beta readers are other authors who are busy with their own books and their own lives, and they're taking the time to help you, even though you're going to, return the favor someday and you're going to help them. Let them know how much their sacrifice and information meant to you. Now, the best practices for finding an editor, and I'm going to share some links that I found for us earlier on some really good articles and some really good books later toward the end. But the best way that I found was I went to my writing community. I went to other authors and I asked for recommendations. And then after I asked for recommendations, when I found someone, I checked their credentials and experience, and it will give you a sense of confidence that you're handing your deliverable, your book, over to someone that knows what they're doing if you do the legwork. I did not have to do this because I actually read the books of my editor. So I knew her writing and I knew that the sample of her writing and how she went about editing was going to fit my needs. And we discussed the cost up front, and just always make sure you understand the contract and the cost. And as always, it's all about communication. If it's someone you are very new to knowing, you can always ask for a sample edit. Most editors, are going to know what that is and be ready for that question. And that way you're going to see and understand what they are trying to accomplish and if their style of editing matches your genre and your writing style. Now, before you do that, before you send it to an editor, obviously you need to prepare your manuscript for editing before you send it to anyone. So self-edits, what I do is I set clear goals and deadlines, and I revise in stages. I approach self-editing in layers. I focus on different aspects in each pass. I will start with a structural edit to address plot, pacing, and character development. I will follow with line edits to improve clarity, style, and flow. And then I'll perform like a proofread to catch grammar, spelling, and punctuation. We're going to cover the beta feedback in the next slide, so let's go on to formatting. I follow industry standards. I use a standard font, New Times Roman, 12 point. So all of the things that you just find an industry standard that you like and be consistent with it. Consistent and clear layout. Use your formatting for your chapter headings, your scene breaks, your dialogue. Indent the line of each paragraph. Use single spacing after periods, scene breaks, all that kind of good stuff. Be consistent. Then I go through and I outline my concerns for my editor or my beta readers. I specify what I'm hoping to achieve with the editing process. This can include anything. It can be like you're worried about a plot consistency. You're worried about a character's arc. You want to tighten your narrative. You want to polish your readability and flow. And you're going to highlight those key concerns and the areas of your manuscript where you're kind of uncertain, where you are, and you are like, I'm really worried about chapter 7, the second scene. It's a pacing issue in this section. What do you feel like doesn't work right here? And then be open to that feedback. Be open to them telling you, okay, this was your concern. This is what I think you should do. So if you communicate your willingness to consider suggestions for overall improvements that you may not have identified initially, it's going to really foster that collaborative relationship for really the best outcome of your novel. All right. Now, self-editing, when we're talking about your looking over everything, is you're going to carefully review and incorporate the information, the feedback from your beta reader. So you're going to refine your prose by improving your sentence structure. You're going to eliminate redundancies, and you're going to pay attention to readability and conduct a review of, you want to go through the grammar, the punctuation, the spelling. I use a tool like Grammarly or ProWriting Age to catch those. And I refine the prose by improving sentence structure, eliminating the redundancies, and again, just being consistent in my tone and paying attention to clarity and readability. All right, now, working with your editor. Understanding your editor's role in the process is really important. You need to familiarize yourself with what we talked about before, about what type of editor you have, the developmental, the copywriting, the proofreading, which service you need. And then ask your editor to explain their process. You want to communicate effectively. Establish a clear and open communication from the start and discuss your preferred methods of communication. Do you want to be email, phone, video calls, and agree on how many times you're going to check in with each other, and just be really transparent about your goals and concerns that you have. And then when you are in revisions at an editorial level, remember and approach the feedback with an open mind, and go through and prioritize the major structural changes that your editor has found first. Then move on to the smaller things and the tweaks. And keep track of your revisions and communicate them with your editor. That way, if you have questions or need clarification, you can get that from them. And also remember that if you are dealing with someone, an editor that you've never worked with before, and you have a contract with them, I would carefully read the contract to understand the scope of their work, payment details, and just what they're expecting from you as a client. That is one of the main things I would suggest when it comes to working with your editor. Now, these are some articles that I found, and it was resources for beta readers. Jane Friedman, How to Find Beta Readers and Critique Partners, was awesome. The Red Sea is always good. Reader's Digest, Write for Life, the Creative Pen, all of those are really good, and the links should be in the description box below. Articles for Finding an Editor. Again, Jane Friedman. You can't go wrong with her information. Red Sea, Writer's Digest, The Writer's Life, and New York Book Editors. How to choose the right editor for your book. Really good one. Highly suggest. All right. Now, in conclusion, key points for working with beta readers and finding your editor. Seek individuals who understand your genre and your audience. Choose those who can provide honest feedback, constructive feedback. Look for a mix of perspectives, including writers and avid readers. Preparing your manuscript thoroughly. Ensure your manuscript is as polished as it could possibly be before sharing. Correct the basic grammar, fix those spelling errors, and make it easier for your reader and editor to focus on the content. Provide a brief synopsis and context to develop your reader's understanding and goals. And then effectively communicate your feedback. Clearly communicate your expectations. Type of your feedback you suggest and seek. Be open to suggestions and consider them objectively. Use feedback to make targeted revisions, improving the overall manuscript. Be open to revisions and changes. Embrace constructive criticism as a tool for growth. Be willing to make changes that enhance your story's clarity, coherence, and appeal. Understand that a revision is the crucial part of the process. And maintain professionalism. Respect the time and effort of your beta readers and your editor. Be courteous and appreciative of their feedback. And as always, keep communication professional and focused on shared goal of your manuscript. I hope you guys found this interesting and helpful. I appreciate you hanging in there and going through this. I know it was a lot of information. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me either on my Calendly, where you can set up a time to have a Zoom call with me and we can go over any of your questions, or you can leave a question or comment below. I will get back to them as soon as possible. I appreciate you all. I will see you soon. And you know what I'm going to say before I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I am a really awesome group of people's double shot of whiskey. And I am so happy and so proud that you hang out with me and that you find me just right. Love you, love you. Thanks, guys. Bye.